Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our R&R reset and restore practice. I hope that you enjoy this evening's offerings. We've got a little bit of a focus on chest, shoulders, and hips, partly because that's been a lot of the feedback that I've been getting from my students in studio, and selfishly a little bit for me as well, because I have literally been digging in fields for 2 days. So we're going to start off just in any position that is comfortable for you, however you like to arrive. And let's begin with a neck check. So just very slowly and gently articulating the joints in the neck, noticing where your range of motion maybe feels a little bit compromised, if there are any sticky spots, any areas that you can feel a little bit of congestion. And now moving into our first maneuver. This one involves the tongue. It's a little bit different to what we've done in the past. I'm going to ask you to, in a moment, protrude your tongue out quite far and then hold up one of your index fingers to provide some resistance and start to push your tongue quite enthusiastically against your finger, keeping the breath moving and not allowing any tension to build up. So when you're ready, sticking out your tongue, holding up one of your index fingers, and now pushing the tongue against the finger like this. Hold it there, please. And hold. Keep breathing. And hold. And hold. And let it go. Holding up the other index finger and again sticking out the tongue, and when you're ready, once more begin to push your tongue against the resistance of your index finger in the other direction. Good. Hold and hold and hold and relax. We're going to go one more time to each side, holding up the other index finger, sticking out the tongue and pressing it against the resistance of that finger. Hold it there. Keep the breath moving. And hold. And hold. And relax. Good. To the other side now. Again, stick out the tongue. Press the tongue against the index finger. Holding it there. Keeping the breath moving. Keeping the shoulders soft. And let it go. And now when you're ready, another little neck check, just feeling in to your range of motion, noticing if you feel any improvement, maybe not. Not all of the maneuvers work for everyone in equal amounts, so it's good to pay attention to which maneuvers your body responds to and pop that in your little toolkit for use in your own time. When you are ready, we're going to move onto all fours and just stacking those joints, shoulders over wrists, hips above the knees. And when you're ready, we're going to slide into a child's pose with the left arm out and the right arm forward. Let yourself land there. You might like to let your forehead come to rest on the earth. I'm going to leave my head up so that you don't lose my voice. And just allow the armpit of the arm that's reaching forward to feel nice and heavy. Just let that descend. Stay here for an inhale. And as you exhale, slide both hands back in underneath the chest and shoulders, and now slide the arm that was just out to the side underneath the opposite arm for a more traditional needle thread, bringing that ear to rest on the earth as you reach one arm forward, the other arm reaching underneath you, keeping the back of your hand pressing against the earth, the palm of the hand that's reaching forward, pressing into the earth. And then when you're ready, taking the arm that's reaching forward up toward the ceiling. And you can just let the eye gaze rest on an object on the wall that you are facing. So there's no neck strain, giving that lifted arm permission to feel nice and heavy. Maybe even taking that lifted arm and bringing it into a half bind, if that feels appropriate in your body this evening. Keeping the tops of the feet plugging down nice and decisively. And when you're ready, slowly releasing all of that, coming back to arrive on all fours. Moving into the other side now, sliding one arm forward, one arm out to the side. A little tuck of the chin as the forehead and the bridge of the nose comes to rest against the mat, allowing the armpit of the arm that's reaching forward to feel nice and wide, letting it drop down toward the earth, maintaining a nice deliberate contact of the palms and the fingers into the mat. When you're ready, on an inhale, we'll slide the hands back in underneath the shoulders. And now the arm that was out to the side, we'll slide that under for our needle thread. The back of that hand presses down into the earth, the other arm reaching forward as you plug down into the palm, keeping the tops of the feet plugged down and the breath moving slowly and smoothly. Tongue resting against the roof of the mouth, and maybe spinning the rib cage a little bit more toward the ceiling. When you're ready, taking the arm that's reaching toward the top of the mat, reaching that up to the sky, and allowing that arm to drop back and feel nice and heavy. Keep anchoring down through the contact points of your body that are touching the earth. And if you like, taking that lifted arm and bringing that into a half bind. Sending the ribs, the chest, the collarbones spinning toward the ceiling. When you're ready, very gently unraveling from that shape. Finding your way to a traditional all fours position. And we're exploring cat-cow this week a little bit differently to how you might be used to. We're going to leave the right hand where it is, take the left hand and just offset it so that the fingers are facing the long edge of the mat. Good. And now exhale, tuck the chin round the spine. Inhale, spine arches, lifting the eye gaze up. Exhale, chin tuck, spine rounds, lots of attention into the back left rib cage and shoulder. Inhale, spine arches, take the eye gaze up. And another exhale to round. Staying here this time as you tuck the chin and take your gaze just toward the space between the knees. Letting the shoulder blades separate. And taking a slight side bend to the right. So thinking about a slight side cat here, hugging right hip, right shoulder. Really bringing lots of space into the back of the left shoulder. When you're ready, we'll come back gently through center. Readjust the hands, find your neutral all fours. And now offsetting the right hand. So just turning the fingers to face the long edge at the left side of the mat, landing down through that hand. Exhale, tuck the chin round the spine. Inhale, spine arches, take the eye gaze up. Exhale, tuck the chin and round. Inhale, spine arches, looking up, stay plugged down through the tops of the feet. One last exhale to tuck and round, and we'll hold it here, just gazing down toward the space between the knee joints. Taking breath and attention into the back of the right rib cage. And now a very gentle side bend to the left as you subtly hug left hip and left shoulder a little bit closer together. Keeping that breath moving. Releasing that all gently now back through center as we change tacks now and give the wrists a little bit of love. We're going to turn the fingertips of the right hand to face the long edge of the mat. Then turn the fingers back, if you can, to face the knee, gently plugging down into the heel of the right hand. This is quite strong, and statistically, this is likely to be your scrolling or texting thumb. So don't be surprised if it does feel a little bit clunkier here on the right-hand side. But now that we've been here for a few rounds of breath, if you sense that the fascia is maybe starting to give way, to soften a little bit, you might choose to dial this up with a tiny micro bend in the right elbow. And if that's too strong, then of course, please back off. Gently releasing fingers of the right hand back to face the top of the mat, and now turning fingers of the left hand to face the long edge of the mat. Then spinning those fingers back to face the knee, sending the heel of the hand down to meet the mat. And just pause here, be with breath, present with any sensations that are here for you. And if you sense that you've got a little bit more space to play with, a little micro bend in that left elbow, holding and breathing. All right, gently releasing through that left hand. And now our wrists are begging, pleading for some flexion. So tuck the toes, let's value add and get into the plantar fascia. Try, if you can, to pick up contact between each of your 10 toes and the mat, sinking your sit bones back to land on your heels, and we're rising up onto the end knuckles of the middle 3 fingers. So looking at the hands, the thumbs are free, facing the long edge or facing one another and the middle of the mat. The pinkies are free and facing the long edges of the mat. And from here, send the wrist bones forward, sink the sit bones back, tuck your chin and surrender your forehead, the bridge of the nose, and the rib cage down toward the earth. You can add some subtlety here by creating a feeling in the feet, as though you are trying to push the balls of the feet toward the back edge of the mat, and just let the sticky mat catch the toes and bring a little bit more pronounced work into the webbing between the toes, into the arches of the feet, driving the wrists forward. Let the rib cage sink. When you're ready, gently release back to all fours. Release the toes, maybe giving the feet a little bit of a tap on the floor behind you if your toes are asking for a reset. And now working into a variation for the hips. On an inhale, take the right foot out to the side, top of the foot lands on the earth. On an exhale, land on the sole of the foot, bring the knee to a right angle. On an inhale, send the sit bones back toward the heel. On an inhale, stack the shoulders back above the wrists. Exhale, right knee finds the floor. Inhale, neutral, all fours. Other side. Inhale, send the left foot out, land on the shin and the top of the foot. Exhale, land on the sole of the foot, 90-degree angle at the knee. Inhale, send the sit bones back toward the heel. Exhale, stacking shoulders back above the wrists. Inhale, left knee lands on the earth. Exhale, neutral, all fours. Picking up the pace. Inhale, right foot out. Exhale, sole of the foot. Inhale, sink the sit bones back. Exhale, shoulders stack above wrists. Inhale, right knee lands to the earth. Exhale, neutral, all fours. Inhale, left foot out. Exhale, land the sole of the foot. Inhale, sink the sit bones back. Exhale, shoulders above wrists. Inhale, left knee to the earth. And exhale, neutral, all fours. Once more to each side. Inhale, right foot out. Exhale, sole of the foot. Inhale, sit bones back. Exhale, shoulders above wrists. Inhale, right knee to floor. Exhale, neutral, all fours. Inhale, left foot out. Exhale, sole of the foot. Inhale, sit bones back. Exhale, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, left knee to the earth. Exhale, neutral, all fours. And from here, leaving those hips stacked above the knees and inching the arms and torso forward, coming to land in puppy pose. We'll start with the forehead on the floor. Creep the arms forward and let the armpit chest sink and drop. Please keep the points of your body that are in contact with the mat in deliberate contact. Spread the fingers, plug down into the palms. Press the tops of the feet down into the earth. If you like, you might lift your chin and bring the chin to rest on the mat, but that's quite strong on the neck. So if you prefer, just keep the neck neutral and the forehead on the earth. And now that we've been here for a few rounds of breath, you might find a little bit more space to maybe slide the hands and arms forward and let the rib cage drop. Taking your time to slowly make your way back to all fours and meet me in a downward facing dog. As you arrive in your down dog, take your time, please, to pedal the heels out really slowly. The knee that's bending, take a moment to really rise high to the tips of the toes. And on the leg that is straightening, really sending that heel down deep to meet the earth. When you're ready, just coming to settle in your dog. Little tuck of the chin as you gaze with a neutral long neck toward the space between the feet. Maybe even lifting the eye gaze a fraction higher up past the knees so that there's an element of buoyancy and some spaciousness at the base of the skull. On your next inhale, rise high to your tiptoes. Exhaling, knees bend deep and lower the knees all the way down to the mat. When you're ready, we are moving into Dandasana, staff pose, with the legs straight out in front of us to begin with. And just allow the chin to move in toward the chest slightly, but mindful of creating a sense of protraction in the skull. So lifting the back of the skull toward the back corner of the room and letting those shoulders just move back a little bit so the collarbones feel lovely and wide. When you're ready, please bend your left knee. Bring your left foot about 2 fist widths away from the inside of your right leg, just making sure that the toes of the right foot are pointing straight up to the ceiling to keep stability in the joints higher up in the food chain. We're going to hook the left elbow to the inside of the left leg. Fingertips of the right hand come to land gently on the floor behind us. Take an inhale to sit tall, and exhaling, we're turning to the right, letting the eye gaze just drop down slightly toward that right shoulder and exploring the relationship between the bent elbow and the bent knee, using those points of contact to create a little bit of leverage to take you into the rotation. On an inhale, release just the head back through center. And as you exhale, we'll release the left elbow and bring that left leg and hip into external rotation. If you've got any vulnerabilities in the lower back, please just prop that left knee up on a yoga block or a cushion. And again, keeping the toes of the right foot pointing straight up to the ceiling. We're bringing the back of the right hand to anchor itself really deliberately against the inside of the right leg. And just taking that left hand on top of your left knee, turning the wrist and the elbow crease to face the ceiling. So that left arm has already found external rotation. Half the job is done. So now all we need to do is inhale to lift that left arm up. And on the exhale, turning the heart toward the left. And just land here for a moment. A little tuck of the chin, keeping the neck long. Using the back of the right hand and the resistance of the inside of the right leg to maintain that beautiful leverage. And now that we've been here for a few breaths, you might like to slide the right hand down along the inside of the right leg. Keep prioritizing the spin of the chest toward the ceiling and really light up the energy through that lifted left arm. I find that it helps to turn the pinky of the left hand to face the floor. Let the thumb turn up just to create some comfort in the left shoulder joint. Bringing attention into the left rib cage, left side waist, and let the next inhale do the work to pick you up. Exhale, bring that left hand to land on the floor just behind your left hip. Plantar flex the right foot, and on an inhale, lift up onto that left shin, yawning the right arm back behind you to decompress into the right side, maybe looking down at the left thumb so the neck is comfortable, and bringing both sit bones down to find the floor. From here, please cross your right leg in front of your left. If your cross-legged position feels a little bit bunched up, remember you can sit up on a block or a bolster, elevate the sit bones to help out the hips. We're bringing the back of the left hand to hook the right knee. Fingertips of the right hand land lightly on the floor behind you, or maybe bring the arm into bind if that feels okay. On an inhale, we're picking up the collarbones and sitting tall. And as you exhale, we're turning to the right. And this is a twist within a twist. So we're going to bring the chin to land on the left shoulder. It's a little bit strange, but this twist within a twist is creating a lovely vagal tensioning in that 10th cranial nerve. And it's making us just approach a familiar, simple shape with a little bit more awareness. Now that we've been here for a few breaths, maybe think about lengthening, lifting the collarbones, lengthening the spine, maybe turning the chest a little bit more to the right, but drop the chin down toward the left shoulder. When you're ready, gently releasing and resetting your Dandasana, staff pose. We're bending the right knee now, bringing that right foot 2 fist widths away from the inside of the left leg, and on this side, keeping that left ankle really steady to stabilize the joints above it. Bringing the right elbow to rest on the inside of the right knee, fingertips of the left hand on the floor behind you. Take an inhale, find a high, bright seat. And as you exhale, we're turning to the left. Let the eye gaze just gently drop down toward the left shoulder and keep that gentle relationship, that lovely push-pull of the right elbow against the right knee to take you into the twist. On an inhale, sitting a little bit taller, and on the exhale, rotating just a little bit more if it's available. Keeping the breath moving, tongue against the roof of the mouth. On an inhale, releasing just the head. Exhale, unhook that right elbow, and now bring the right leg into external rotation, maybe propping underneath the right knee. We are turning the collarbones out over that bent knee. Back of the left hand now comes to find an anchor against the inside of the left leg. Palm of the right hand faces the ceiling. Right arm in external rotation, and inhaling, picking up that right arm. And as you exhale, we're spinning the heart toward the right, using the back of the left hand to create the leverage. Little tuck of the chin, keeping the neck nice and long. Maintaining that pressure, that push of the left hand against the leg. And when you're ready, on an exhale, perhaps sliding the left hand down toward the ankle, reaching the right arm across. Keep prioritizing turning the chest toward the ceiling. You might like to turn the pinky of the lifted right hand to find, or to face rather, the floor. Does that create a little bit more space and comfort in the right shoulder? Perhaps taking the side bend a fraction further. Lots of breath and attention into the right rib cage, right lung, right side waist. Let the next inhale do the work to lift you up Right hand finds the floor just behind the hips. And exhale, plantar flex that left foot. Yawning the left arm back, gazing down toward the right thumb, and decompressing into the left side body. Dropping the hips gently back down to find the floor, and now crossing the left shin in front of the right. Bringing the back of the right hand to hook the left knee. Fingertips land lightly on the floor behind you. Don't lean back into that arm, or maybe you're bringing the left arm in to bind. Inhale, sitting tall, and exhale, we're turning the body to the left, but bringing the chin down toward the right shoulder. Holding and breathing slowly. Tongue resting flat against the roof of the mouth. On an inhale, sitting a little bit taller. Exhale, turning the chest a fraction more to the left, and maybe dropping the chin down a little bit closer to that right shoulder. Releasing the head, releasing the chest and shoulders. Beautiful. And now grabbing your bolster if you have one, and just straddling the bolster. So if you don't have a bolster, that's fine. Just find a seat that is comfortable and neutral for you. Whatever that is, even sitting in a chair is fine. This next part of the practice is all about the neck and the shoulders. So we're bringing the arms out in front of us, crossing the right elbow over the top of the left, and then bring your fingers around to reach for the inner borders of the shoulder blades. Good. Please squeeze your elbows against each other, and now lift the elbow points up. Keep your chin and your nose dropping down so that the neck is nice and neutral, keeping the elbows squeezing and lifting. Now from here, please think about sending your elbow points forward. Let the shoulder blades retract and move even further away from each other, and let the upper back round out a little bit. Elbows squeezing and lifting. Good. When you're ready, we're releasing with an inhale, stop sign the arms. And now spin the elbow points to face forward and look up. Releasing both arms now, and maybe reset with a little shrug of the shoulders. Bringing the arms back out in front of you. Please cross the left arm over the top of the right. Bring the fingers around to find the inner borders of those shoulder blades, and start your exploration by first squeezing the elbows together, then lifting the elbows up. Just keeping the chin and the nose angled slightly down toward that top arm, and keeping the breath moving smoothly. Squeezing the elbows and lifting the elbows. And now think about sending the points of the elbows forward. Let the shoulder blades separate and find a little bit more space, a little bit rounded sensation in the thoracic spine. Keep the elbows squeezing and lifting. And to release, on an inhale, stop sign the arms slowly. Then exhale, spin the elbows forward, look up. And release the arms down. Take a moment here to rebound and reflect. And just notice how the shoulders and the chest are feeling. Moving into the neck now, please take your right arm out in line with the shoulder. Turn the thumb to face the floor. Let the whole right shoulder head move forward. Then spin that right thumb to face the wall behind you. Let the whole shoulder just drop forward Then swing that left or that right arm rather in, bend the elbow. And if you can, let the fingers of the right hand just take hold of the left bicep. You might need to sort of shimmy the shoulder blades in a bit closer to each other to broaden the chest to facilitate that grip. Stay here, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're dropping the left ear gently down toward the left shoulder. Keeping the right shoulder head just gently dropping away from the ear. And when you are ready, please begin to trace some very slow, smooth, crescent moon shapes in the air with the tip of your chin. Not semicircles, just crescent moon shapes, sifting into the tissue on the right side of the neck. Giving yourself permission to pause and explore any range of motion here that you might feel is relevant in your body. And now allowing those crescent moon shapes to become more rounded and robust semicircles, but tracing those semicircles slowly and smoothly. And gently releasing the head, releasing the arms, taking that into the other side now. Left arm out to the side. Turn the thumb to face the floor. The whole shoulder head moves. Turn the thumb to face the wall behind you. Let the whole shoulder head drop down. And then bring that arm in, keeping it straight until the bicep touches your t-shirt. Then bend the elbow and maybe find the right bicep, keeping the chest wide, bringing the shoulder blades a bit closer together. Stay here and take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop the right ear down toward the right shoulder, keeping the left shoulder just slightly dropping away from the left earlobe. And begin to trace those very small, very slow, smooth crescent moon shapes to begin with in the air with the tip of your chin. Giving yourself permission to pause and linger. If you sense that there are any parts of this range of motion that you can feel that congestion or tightness. And now perhaps allowing those crescent moon shapes to become a little bit more rounded, more of a semicircle, but keep the movement slow and smooth. Good. And letting that go. Releasing the arms and giving the shoulders a shrug. Great. We are moving down closer to the floor. Now, last week we did a beautiful hip release, but the feedback that I had from you was that holding the head up away from the floor was creating some neck tension. So I've been doing some research on your behalf. We're going to revisit that beautiful hip release, but this time, can you pop your head on a bolster or a pillow, or even grab your yoga block with maybe a blanket over the top of it so that it's not a hard surface against the head. And as you come to lie back with your head resting on the bolster or whatever prop you're using, we're going to bring both knees just in toward the chest and now cross your right ankle over the top of your left. Take the knees wide, reach the hands in between the knees and reach down to take hold of the little toe sides of the feet. Good. Actually scratch that. Take the hands on the outsides of the knees so that you're grabbing hold of the little toe sides of the feet there. Good. Okay, knees wide. And now hug the knees in toward, it's almost like you're wanting to bring your knees toward your shoulders. Good. Holding that there. You can spice this up by pulling the outsides of the feet closer toward the sit bone. So you're bringing it into the ankles And then let the feet sort of push back and resist a little bit against the hands. And now please turn your head to the left. Maybe even letting the left ear come to just lay flat on your bolster or your prop. Keep hugging the knees in. And now find a slow, smooth breath. We're taking 5 breaths in and out through the mouth first. 1, 2, 3, 4, one more. 5. Now 5 breaths in and out through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take the legs out long. Take a moment here to rebound. And you might sense here that the right hip has just dropped down. Maybe there's a little bit more space in the pelvis, the sacrum. You might not notice anything at all. Good. We're working into the other side now. So hugging the knees in toward the chest, crossing the left ankle over the top of the right, reaching the hands around the outside of the legs to pick up the little toe sides of the feet, and then taking the knees wide as you invite the knees to hug in close toward the shoulders. So the tailbone, the sacrum are lifting up off the floor. We're quite rounded in the lower back. If you want a little bit more spice here, then pull the pinky toe sides of the feet down in the direction of the sit bones and let the feet push against the hands. And we're turning the head to the right, maybe even coming to land on the right ear against the prop, and take 5 slow breaths in and out through the mouth. 1, in and out through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now in and out through the nose slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Taking the legs out long. Taking a moment here just to rebound and feel into the lower back, sacrum, pelvis, and the hips. Good. When you are ready, please set yourself up for your Shavasana. And this evening, we are going to be layering on our Brahmari pranayam in our Shavasana. This is such a beautiful way to really feel into the back of the rib cage. So find your Shavasana. Of course, propping yourself in whatever way you like. And I suggest as you lie down to find your Shavasana, just cross the elbows over one another so that you're coming to recline with as much space between the shoulder blades as you can. And then landing in your Shavasana. Now, I'm not going to be making any humming noises this evening. I will talk you through it. When you're ready, we're taking a calm inhale. Feel the back rib cage expand. And now exhale with a hum. The sound will begin in the throat where the vocal cords are. But can you allow the sound to drop down into the back of the rib cage and really let that velvety vibration penetrate into the backs of the lungs and the ribs? As you feel yourself running out of exhale, just take your next calm inhale and your next exhale with Brahmari, with your hum. Attention into the back rib cage, the back lungs, As you feel yourself running out of exhale, let the hum just peter off gently. Then take your next calm inhale and your next exhale with Brahmari. And please stay with this now until the sound of my voice summons you back. Give this your full attention. At the end of your next exhale with sound, letting go of the Brahmari and noticing the contact points of your body against the earth. Inviting some very gentle movements into your fingers and toes, and some rotations into the wrists and ankles. You might enjoy gently swallowing to lubricate the throat. Maybe taking a lovely yawn and a stretch. When you are ready, rolling onto your favorite side. Of course, we suggest and recommend the right side unless you have low blood pressure. And as you come to arrive in your upright seat, remaining for just a moment more with your eyes closed. Taking a moment to check in with how you have arrived here at the end of your practice, at the end of your day. How is the body feeling? How is the breath moving? Slowly bringing the palms to meet one another in front of your heart, or if you prefer, just landing one hand on your chest and the other against your belly. But punctuating the end of this week's session, as always, with gratitude and acknowledgement, as we extend our thanks for the gift of this day, our lives and our health, and as we offer our respects and acknowledgements to one another and to the custodians of this living tradition. And as always, beautiful friends, my very sincere respect and gratitude to you all. Thank you for your company, your energy. Have a restful night. Let me know how you went with this week's practice. I love your feedback. Have a great evening. Namaste, my beauties. Okay, bye.